rational numbers and justify the solution path.
All right, so our ICAD is linear equations. Linear equations mean that they are, when we look at linear equations, that the y, please write, and x are to the first power. So your variables are to the first power, meaning there's not a squared, right, or a cube. They're always to the first power, okay? So today we're going to look at new types of equation, one with two different kinds of variables. Up to this point, it's either been an x, a y, only one variable. So we're going to solve for either today the x or the y. When we solve for y, a certain equation, it's really important because what it's going to do as we are taking a look at this, as we take a look, we want to put down, it makes, as we are looking at this, it easier to graph. Right? We're thinking, why is it easier to graph? You might have seen up on my board, as we are looking at different equations. And those of you in art, if you're ever doing ceiling tiles, I love ceiling tiles. I just, usually 8th graders make them for all the teachers before. So, but this is a huge equation that we're going to use this year. Y equals mx plus b. Please write that one down. This is going to be finishing this unit, and as we go into our next unit, D. So we are going to be asking you today to either solve for y or to solve for x. When you solve for y, that means I want one y equals everything else. And I just want you to notice the order here. They always put the x term first, then plus a number. And I'll have some people say, well, does it matter when I'm putting it if I have 7 plus 2x or 2x plus 7? The reason I would like you to get in this habit is that when we get to our next unit D, it makes it so much easier to graph if you get used to putting the x first. So, taking a look, this equation says let's solve for y. So, please when you rewrite it down here, leave a little space. So we're going to put 5x plus what number is in front of y if there's nothing there?
1.
1. So I really have 1y over 3 equals 2. Now from just doing our unit with fractions, my denominator, the only denominator I have is 3. Could we get rid of that fraction right away? Does some of you like to get rid of it, or should we leave it? It doesn't matter to me. I want to show you two ways of solving this. Okay? So we're going to look at two different ways of solving this. The first way that we are going to look at is if we eliminate the denominator. Okay? If I'm eliminating the denominator, what do I want to multiply by so I don't have this fraction anymore? What do I want to multiply everything by so I do not have my denominator? I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So please put multiply 3. And we're going to put 3 times 5x. Do I want to put 3 over 1? No. Plus 3 times 1y over 3 equals 2 times 3. Okay. So if I'm looking at that one, Carson, we're going to end up with 15x plus Lillian, what's going to happen with this 3 over 3? So 3 times 3y, but then I have to divide it by 3, right? So 3y divided by 3 leaves me with 1y. And then that last one, when I'm multiplying it, what am I going to have, Cameron? I'm going to have 6. I want to solve for y. I want this all by itself. Andrew, what do you think I could do with the 15x? Subtract. Now, here's the biggest thing. I'm going to subtract, right? Keep that equal sign, minus 15. And this is what a bunch of people do. You put minus 15. But Mark, it's missing the what? I don't get to just subtract 15. I have to keep the, gotta keep the x. So please make sure if you don't put that x, put the x. Behind this 6, don't put it right below the 6. Put it back here. Why don't I want to put it below the 6? Are they like terms? No. So, Jarrett, you're going to help me out, right? This is 0 plus what? 1y. 1y equals 6. minus?
15x.
Yes. Now, I just said we want to always put the x one first. So, if you are helping me with that one, Ivy, what are we going to write?
You're gonna add 15x.
Nope, we're not going to. Do I already have y by itself?
Yeah.
Yes. So my solution is going to be y equals.
Y equals 1.
6 minus 15x. But I want to put the x term first. So instead of putting 6, I'm going to put what first?
1.
Wait. I'm not sure where you're getting at. Negative, don't Brad. Negative 15x. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then plus what?
6.
Plus 6. Okay. I want to show you the other way that some students are going to solve this. I want you to see that one thing that some people are going to do is they are going to get the y by itself first. If I'm getting the y by itself first, as I look at that, what do you think, Brad, I should do to get the y by itself in that first equation? Subtract what? I want only this 1/3 y to be here. I don't want anything else. I want to get rid of 5x. What do you think, Tyler? Can you help him? Anyone have an idea? What do you think as you're looking at it? Oh, man. Minus 5x. Put minus 5x here. Keep your equal sign. Don't put it below the 2, right? Put it back behind minus 5x. What am I left with, Jonathan, on this side? 0 plus 1/3 y, okay, equals, keep going, 2, what? Minus 5x, okay? We're going to switch the order around here. You ready, Ivy? Or not Ivy, Kira? 1/3 y. Okay, negative 5x. Make sure you keep the x with the 5. Why do I want it in this order? Because it's going to lead me to my next lesson as I'm doing that. So Jordan, I have 1/3 times y, but I want 1y. What do I have to multiply everything by to not have 1/3?
3.
By 3. So here, that leaves me with 1y. I'm going to take 3 times negative 5. That's going to give me negative 15x. And I have to take 2 times 3. Does it matter which way you do this? Did you get the same answer both ways? I just want you to be aware that some people prefer to get rid of that fraction right away. Other people are going to get the y by itself. Your first step is always going to be to add or subtract the x term, okay? So when we take a look at these, this is harder stuff. I just want you to know that. This is not the easiest stuff. Some of you are going to go, oh, this makes perfect sense. And some of you are going to like, I don't get this. So this one, make sure we know we are solving for y. This one, we're going to solve for x. So this is already 1y when I look at the problem. So yeah, if I want 1y by itself, I need to add or subtract something to get the y all by itself. Subtract 3x. We're going to do that on both sides of that line. That's our equal sign. I'm going to put it way back behind the 4, not below the 4. When I rewrite that, I am looking, Tyler, at having
0.
Okay, 0 plus y, right? So 0 plus y equals 4 minus 3x. But I want to put it in the right form. I want to put the x term first. Could you find this answer in the back and it would be correct? Yes. But, Autumn, are you ready to help me rewrite it? Mm-hmm. Y equals?
Negative 3x.
Nice. Questions?
Yes.
Yep.
So how to do this equation? How do you get 3x minus 4? Because I would have taken 3x minus 4, and I would have took that 1.
Because this is not 4x. This is just 4. So I want you to think these are those little square tiles, right? Right? So those are the squares, and I'm subtracting the rectangle here, right? That's my x.
So you're trying to say is that I'm take the 3, put it behind as a minus 3?
All right, and could you have had this? I have some students that'll do this. They'll put plus a negative 3, plus a negative 3. But you cannot add these two together. So that's why I always separate them, because this is like with 0, and this is meaning that there was no x's here before. So I have to add the x terms together. I can only add like terms. And since there was no other x back here, I'm just going to put minus 3x. Yeah.
Say that 3x was where the 4 would be. So minus 3x, would it go on the left side then?
Are we talking about this one? Okay, let's just wait. Give me a chance. So this makes sense. Always 1y. This one, you have to get this x alone. Okay? So I need to get the x alone. Amy, if I want to get the x alone, how do I get rid of plus y? I like how we got rid of 3x over here. Minus y. Can I subtract y from 4? Are they like terms? So I'm going to put it way back here, minus y. I now get 3x plus 0 equals 4 minus y. So I'm rewriting it, Maddox, as 3x equals 4 minus y. Let's put a 1 in front of our y. And I don't know if the rest of you hate subtraction, but you could change the subtraction to adding the opposite. So Maddox, I want to know what 1x equals. What do I have to do because it's 3 times x? Yes, and here's the deal. You must divide every single thing by 3. If there would be 4 or 5 things back here, you have to divide all of them by 3. So that when I do this, okay, so some of you are with me on this part. Ben, you right with us? So we're going to have our 3's. We are going to keep this as 4/3. And we are going to put minus 1y over 3. And that is my ugly answer. You're going to get some ugly answers like that. Questions? Parts. What do we want to do first? Grady, you get to start us on this one.
We would take 3x minus 7.
Okay, wait. We're going over to this one. We're going to do this one together as a class.
Oh. Take
I want to get the y by itself, right?
So I would take 3 minus 4x.
So how do I get y by itself? What's with the y that I have to get rid of?
1/4.
No. That's times it. What is on the same side of the equal sign that I have to add or subtract? Because first step is almost always going to be almost always going to be addition or subtraction of something.
So minus 4x.
Okay, wait. 4x is way over on this side. What's on this side of the equal sign that I want to get rid of with the 1/4 y? 3. How do I get rid of plus 3? How do I get it to be a 0?
Minus 3.
That's what we want to do. And this is a hard first step for a lot of people. But I'm not going to put it right below the 4x, right? I'm going to put it way back here with a minus 3. This one, they actually put us in the right form right away, right? I am going to have what as I am writing, Mark? 1/4 y. Do you like putting the plus 0? Or do you want it? I can or we don't have to. What do you want to do? Yes or no? Nope. Okay, I'm good with that. Equals. So what do we have left on this side? Wait. Do I have any other x's? Negative 4x. Nice. Minus what? Do I have any other number, minus 3. Okay? I'm almost done with it. All right, Brad, what would you do? I got to get the y. I want it to be 1y. Okay, so what's happening between 1/4 and y? What do you think's happening between 1/4 and y? What operation is that? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. So 1/4, and it's written right by the y. That means take 1/4 and divide by y, or 1/4 times y? Times y. So the biggest thing that all of students want to do is divide by a fourth. Don't do it. Multiply instead by its what? Reciprocal. So at this point, we want to not divide by 1/4, okay? So please put not divide by 1/4. We're going to multiply by 4/1. Every single thing. Now, do I have to put 4/1 back here? Some of you will like to do this. You'll like to use this distributive property and just put a 4 here. Some of you, it's better if you put 4 next to each one. So 1y equals negative 16x, negative 3 times negative times 4 gives me a plus a negative 12. I'll have some people tell me just minus 12. They'll say y equals negative 16x minus 12. So we're going to do this next one. Keeping in mind that this means 4, 5 minus y's. We have to get rid of this parenthesis first. So start me off. Carson, what are we going to do first? We're going to keep it 14x plus 3 equals
15,
wait, 20. 4 times 5, 20. Minus 4y. Which letter, Kaizen, are we solving for? X or y, does it tell us? X. I want this 14x all by itself. If I'm trying to get 14x on this side of the equal sign with nothing else, Isabel, what do you think I should do to get rid of plus 3? Minus 3. I'm going to minus 3 on this side. Where should I put minus 3 on this side? Below 20, below negative 4y. Jared, what do you think? Where should I subtract my 3 on this side of the equal sign?
Behind the 4y.
So are these like terms? The 3 and 4y, are they like terms? Or is 20 and 3 like terms? Do you see where it makes a difference where I put it? Which ones look alike? Meaning, can I take 4y and subtract 3 if there's no y with it? No. So I have to put this minus 3 below the 20, right? So when I'm looking at this, it's going to be really important if there's different terms on the other side that we show minus 3 right below the 20. Okay? So I do minus 3 right below both sides. I'm left with 14x plus 0, which is just 14x. 20 minus 3 is 17 minus 4y. This is ugly with this stuff, right? It's okay. We're gonna work on it a few days. So Liv, I need to get x by itself and I have 14 times it. What's the opposite of multiplying by 14? Dividing. And you're going to show everything divided by 14. Is it ugly? Answers? Yes. That's okay. X equals, right? This is 1. 14 divided by 14. We're going to leave it as 7 over 14. Do not put that in your calculator and give me an ugly decimal. I don't want an ugly decimal. We're going to leave it like that. plus negative 4y over 14. It is ugly as you are doing these. The problem that I would like you to try right now is the first one, thank you, is that first one here, trying to tell me what y equals, and I want you to look at this one and try and tell me what x equals. Much what negative x equals. So when you're showing your work, what's the opposite of multiplying by negative 1? We would have to do one last step here and divide everything by negative 1. And my answer would be x equals negative 8. Negative divided by negative is plus 2y. But I want to have, Jared, I'm going to have you come up and show how you did it with the 2y minus x equals 8. I'm going to have you do it right here, because I like your work that you started with. Okay? So I'm going to this answer. Only thing we have to do is subtract 8. So here's my hint. When you had this right here, Jared, when you had this, you could have subtracted 8 right here and right here from the 0. Then I would have had 1x, this would be 0, right, equals 2y minus 8. Is that the same as this?
Yeah.
So when x is negative, my hint would be maybe instead of subtracting the 2y, because a lot of you will stop here and you forget to divide by negative 1. It might be better to do as Jarrett thought and go, oh, I'm going to add the x first. And then I think you thought when dividing by 2 is you were solving for y. But we wanted to get the x by itself. Most of our homework questions are going to be getting y by itself. We are not going to do that next example, okay? So, turn in your homework, and on page 60, you are going to do 1 to 12 all. And on the top of the next page, we are only going to do 13 to 17 odd. Now, can you do more than that on the second page for more practice? Sure. But I probably wouldn't get too worried about that. So, we subtracted 8x, and we put it in the order we like, negative 8x minus 12. I'm going to do what now to solve for y? Divide everything by negative 4, right? Everything by negative 4. Everything by negative 4. And then I'm going to turn and look at the answers in the back after I'm done. And I get y equals negative divided by negative is positive 2x. Negative divided by negative is plus 3. And check if you got number 1 right. Right? Okay? No, we're going to spend a couple days on this, okay? So as you are taking